Hello and welcome to StrangePlay. I'm Rik.
I'm Simon.
And this is our little hands-on first impressions of the Destiny 2 beta. Now, I haven't been playing it. Simon has. He wanted to talk about it. So, take it away, man. What do you think?
What do I think? There's a lot of good in there. There's also a lot of bad.
How so?
Well, we'll start off with good stuff first. What Destiny 1 did really well is it felt just marvellous to play. Really easy. Like, it basically played itself. You know? You picked up the controller, you instantly knew what you were doing.
Kind of like what you'd expect from the people that made Halo.
Yeah, it's really smooth. It's I'm trying to think of a way to explain it. It's glossy, everything feels nice, it looks nice, everything controls how you'd expect it to.
Yeah.
There's a myriad of options, so like I don't like I can't remember what the right click does. I think it might be melee or something like that. But I swap it across to crouch because I like to crouch, do you know, when I'm aiming and stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of having it on circle. So yeah, you've got all that sort of stuff, Joe, that's like moved across the put. Like you've got all your accessibility stuff, like they've got the colourblindness stuff, which is fantastic because.
Okay, tell me about this colourblind thing that you mentioned.
Basically, you've played loot games. So when loot drops, it's like white, green, blue, purple.
Okay, yeah.
Right. And for people that are colourblind, they don't know if it's, do you know what they're picking up. Also, they don't know like the so you have enemies and they've got bars above their heads, and if it's a red bar or a yellow bar or whatever, it designates like you have bars on them, but you also have, some of them have shields around them, which is
right.
It's sort of like on Destiny 2, it looks like a sphere, but the sphere is coloured. So you have a void shield, arc shield, and a solar shield, which is basically a fancy way of saying fire, electric, and like magic shields. Because they're coloured, you need to use the corresponding weapon against them. So, do you know, bring the shields down really quickly, because otherwise it just...
Like opening doors with the different beams.
Yeah. But if you're colourblind, it is fucking impossible to, do you know, like, differentiate between them. I play with a couple of colourblind people, or rather I played Destiny 1 with colourblind people, and it was a fucking pain in the ass. Because they'd be like, is that ammo on floor? Like, what colours it? And I'm like, I don't know, I can't see because everything's instance. Joe, all the loot and stuff's instance.
Okay.
So they're like looking at it, and they don't know what they've got until, Joe, they physically pick it up. And in situations where there's a lot of action going on, it's hard to tell, you know, if it's worth running over and, you know, risking your life to, you know, just the sort of thing. So I really, really appreciate them. Although I'm not colourblind myself, I really, really appreciate that they've gone to the trouble, you know, of putting this stuff in.
Yeah.
And it all works. Like, I tried it out to see what it looked like, and yeah, it's noticeable, do you know, to me.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I think that should be, like, when people are making games, they should make them for everyone.
Industry standard.
Yeah, it should be an industry standard, yeah. As well as subtitles and all that, Joe, of a business. So, that stuff is fantastic.
Wicked.
Excellent. Like I said, the controls are glossy. They've tightened things up. I didn't think that would be possible. Okay. But it's very apparent when you start playing that, Joe, it's not quite the same as the older version. But everything feels really, really nice. The movement's nice. The gliding about is nice.
Like a sequel should.
Yeah. It feels like they've learnt from the mistakes. It's like, if we tweak this here and, you know, slide this there. That's
good. That's what you want.
The levels feel a bit more involved than the war before. Because normally it was... the one strike that were in the game.
Yeah, so which levels are actually in the beta? It
was a very light beta. I'm not going to criticise it for that because, I mean, they don't want to give everything away, you know.
Well, the thing is as well, like, someone from Bungie the other day came out and says that the beta that's public now is a version of the game that's like 2 or 3 months old. Like, they're already working on a better, like, more improved version. So we've got an old version. Yeah. So, like, improvements are being made already. So it's kind of to be expected that it's going to be a bit rough around the edges.
I think, as well, like, there's some things about the current build that are quite bad. Okay. Like, have you ever played Destiny at all?
Like, I played it for about 2 minutes at my brother's house.
Right, okay. You have your standard gun, a secondary, and a heavy. And on top of that, you have a grenade, which cools down over time, so like you can throw one like every 30 seconds, or you can have skills.
Is that infinite grenades just on a cooldown?
It's infinite grenades, but
Okay.
on a cooldown depending on your loot and how you build your character.
Okay.
And it's same with your melee attack as well. You'll have like a melee attack, and if you say like you're playing as like a solo player, when you punch, that initial punch will do like so much solo damage, and it's normally enough to kill like a trash mob or do significant
Okay.
damage to a bigger mob.
So how was that improved, or?
No, that is actually worse. But the thing is, with the supers and grenades and stuff, it's just variables. They can go in and go, hey, you know what? These aren't working. It's taking 60 seconds or whatever, for people to be able to throw a grenade.
Yeah.
Or like over the duration of a strike in Destiny 1, you would throw so many supers. Like, like each class has its own supers.
Yeah.
And you'd be firing them off. And it sort of snowballs depending on how well people are doing. So say like, there's me, you and Elliot in a game. And I throw my super out first. And I hit a load of people and kill them. I drop orbs. And that fills both yours and Elliot's super up.
Okay.
So if he uses his and he does a load of damage, that's filling my super up on top of... So you basically... It's feeding into each other.
Yeah, so the whole team benefits.
Yeah. So you don't hold on to them. If you see a time to use your super, use it.
Okay.
But in Destiny 2, it takes so long to charge these things that you want to hold on to them instead of using them.
Does it still give a team benefit, or is it now just like single player benefits for using the supers?
No, you still drop orbs depending on how much damage you do.
Okay.
Well, not how much damage you do. It's how many kills you get. So if you throw your super at the end boss of a strike,
Yeah.
it's going to do a fuckload of damage to him, but you're going to get 0 orbs from it.
Because it hasn't killed him.
Yeah, if you throw them at like all the trash mobs, which like that's what I use mine for, I just use them to clear trash out.
Okay.
It benefits the team because you're clearing the trash out and you're dropping orbs for like the next, trash clearing out. So that's what you do. The new thing that they've added is each class gets another skill. The Titan gets a wall, which you can throw out. The Hunter gets a roll, like an evasive roll,
Okay.
which is a bit selfish comparatively to the other two classes' specials. And the Warlock he sort of marks the floor, and it's either like he can buff the team's weapons, or he can buff the team's health. So while you're stood in this pool, it's either constantly healing you, or it's buffing how much damage you can output.
Okay.
There's some synergy there. You're going to want a Warlock for certain jobs. You're going to want a Titan for certain jobs. There's benefits for having them, apart from the Hunter one, which seems really like... I mean, they could have done loads of stuff, like making everyone go invisible, or dazzling enemies
But
so
instead
they
he
can't
just does
see
a
us.
little...
But it just does like a
cartwheel.
little... Yeah, it's rubbish. Like, they could have done better than that. But they work, and they're really, really good. They do work. And they add another layer to the combat.
Okay.
So you can sort of say, hey, I'm going to set up in this corner and we're going to camp, and let everyone recoup. So, yeah, that stuff, all fantastic, barring the roll
Yeah.
and the shitty cooldowns. But like I say, they could slide them, say, hey, look, we know we fucked up there, and, we'll change the values.
Yeah.
Where they have fucked up, and this is a really, really big fuck up. In Destiny 1, you have 3 classes of weapons. You have a primary, a secondary, and a heavy. The primary is your bread and butter. It's auto rifles, pulse rifles, scout rifles, and hand cannons. So you've got like an auto fire, a burst fire, a single fire, and then like a short range, like a short range, but the scout rifle's like more a DMR style. In the secondary, you add shotguns, snipers, fusion rifles, and sidearms, and they use green ammo. And the difference between the primaries and the secondaries is every secondary has an element on it. So do you remember when I was talking about the shields, the Void, the Arc, and the Solar? They all come with them. And then you have heavies, which is heavy machine guns, rocket launchers, and swords. And they're basically a big fuck you to any mobs. So you have your bread and butter primaries, your situational secondaries, and then you've got your boss killers and what have you. Now, in Destiny 2, they've fucking done away with that. They've put you have something called kinetic, and you have something called energy, and then you have heavy weapons. The kinetic weapons, auto rifles, pulse rifles, scout rifles, hand cannons, and the new SMG. The second one is what I've just said, but they've got elements on them. So you've got your void, your solar, and your arc, right?
Okay.
So if you want, you can have 2 pulse rifles, or 2 scout rifles, or 2 hand cannons, or whatever, right? But the thing is, they've put the things, the shotguns, snipers, the fusion rifles, and what have you, into the heavy category, right?
Okay.
And that is a mistake, because no one is going to give up using a heavy machine gun or a rocket launcher or the new grenade launchers, which are a bit weak comparatively. Joe, they sit somewhere between like the secondaries and the heavy, or a sword, to use one of those. They're just not going to do it, because heavy ammo, you get like that ammo sort of drops, and the white stuff's common as fuck. The green ones for the secondary are sort of common, but not as Joe mad. And then the purple ammo is like, it's like rocking horse shite. You just don't get it, right? No one is going to forfeit having a machine gun or a rocket launcher, do you know, for the sake of carrying a sniper rifle. And the thing with this is, it's making it so that the builds that you have are diluted almost, because you can't look at your things and go, like, this one will allow me to carry more shotgun ammo and reload shotgun faster, do you know, so you can be a bit gung-ho. Or this one will allow me to like double my damage if I get a kill with a fusion rifle. So by moving those weapons up a tier, they've basically made it so that you're forced into using the same weapons for, you know, most of the game. There's no situational times where you're going to go, oh man, I wish I could use a sniper rifle now, but I can't because I've got a fucking heavy machine gun there. Because of the economics of how the ammo works and the damage that they put out, it's fucking stupid. Like, no one in the right mind is going to use that, you know?
But don't you think that's going to, like, make people who play with friends, you know, have kind of, like, customized classes themselves? Like, you go out, you're taking these guns, I'll go out, I'm taking these guns, and then it'll kind of force you to work more as a team, because each person's going to have a more specific role to play due to the loadout that they're carrying.
Maybe.
You know, it can make it a more tactical.
Maybe.
I suppose.
Maybe it will. But the thing is, the way it is in the old game, you can have someone that's like a frontman. He'll have like an hand cannon and a shotgun or whatever, or an auto rifle, and he'll be stood at the front. He'll be taking all the damage. He'll be skilled. He'll be able to run about and stuff.
Your tank, basically.
Yeah, you're like a tank, but they sort of market him as the tank, you know, the DPS and the healer.
Yeah.
They're not really the same. They're all like blanketed.
Yeah.
Like it takes the same amount of shots to kill a Titan as it does the Warlock. So even when the one's wearing fucking armor plating and the other one's wearing a leather jacket, there's no difference. Like it's just, it comes down to the skill sets that they have. Like, one can protect himself a little bit better, you know, but it's not.
From what you've seen in the beta, though, has that changed?
No.
You know, so people are still going to take the same amount of damage. They're still going to be just as strong as the next person.
Yeah, they changed. You had, oh man, I forget how it was last time, but you basically had 3 bars, and they acted as like a toughness, a mobility, and like a magic. Joe, that it wasn't magic. This is like, I'm butchering the fucking terms that Destiny actually uses, but what it does is, if you had it all in strength, it affects like how fast your melee would recharge. If you had it all in like intelligence, it'd affect how quick your like your super would charge, and if you had it in the other, it'd affect how quick your grenade charge. So you had the 3 things, and they all affected different parts of your. So if you wanted to just do a guy that throw grenades all the fucking time, you'd stack that particular stat on your armor, And eventually
Right.
it get to a point where you sort of like have to hit markers, like your milestones, so you have to hit so many points. But it's hard to tell if that's in the beta because everything will lock down. You will lock to a level 20, 200 light character. So I really couldn't comment on that. Like, I don't know whether, Joe, there's that pliability in...
Yeah. So then, like, a lot of these complaints that you've got could be just, like, early game stuff. That's
Yeah,
the issue.
totally. I mean, there could be. Apart from the weapons, I think that is a big mistake.
Okay.
Joe, forcing people to sort of use the same, like, pool of weapons in two, slots.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to be a point where a lot of people are going to look at it and go, oh, I don't know why they did this until they're going to PvP, because that's apparently why they've done it. There were so many metas in the Destiny 1. The metas of the first game have flowed in to this choice of having the two the two same sets of pools of weapons in Destiny 2. So you've got the primary and the secondary slots are basically the same things. So what they've done is, because there were tired of people going, we've got a fucking sniper meta and it's really boring, or we've got a shotgun meta and it's really boring, they've basically gone, okay, well, we'll make it so that we'll put the shotguns and the snipers in the heavy slot, so the only time you're ever going to use them is when heavy ammo spawns in the map. There's how it works is every like so many minutes it'll go heavy ammo's on its way, and then you have to go to it and physically pick it up, as a team, right? So that's the only time that those weapons are going to be used.
Yeah.
Instead of how it is currently in Destiny 1, where you sort of get, ammo dropping and people are using the snipers and the shotguns and
But
stuff.
do you think the strength of the weapons are going to be like increased in order to compensate for the fact that they're not going to be used as often? So they'll be much more useful, I suppose.
No, they're not. I mean, I've used the grenade launcher and the fusion rifle, and I've got to be honest, I won't pick either of those over a rocket launcher or a machine gun. No, because you can't mow people down. Like the whole point of that third slot is it's a big fuck you to the opposition's life bar.
Right.
In both PvP and PvE, whereas the others are sort of like your bread and butter and like the more tactical choices. Whereas that's like a nuke button. It's like you hit it and it's done. Job's finished.
Yeah.
So I think that decision of having the weapons how they are, with the kinetic, the energy, and the heavy, it'll piss so many people off, and I think it'll end up being reversed. Like, I can't see it carrying on. There'll be some rebalancing or something, because I just can't see it. Like, unless they're gonna make the sniper rifles like fucking railguns, it don't make any sense. Like, why they do that?
How do you think people who haven't played Destiny 1 will find it? Because from what you said, it sounds very like a standard FPS setup where you've got your pistol or your machine gun, but then you've got your secondary, like your heavier weapon, which usually is a shotgun or a sniper rifle or a rocket launcher. It sounds like your basic FPS setup. So maybe they've done it in order to get people from the Call of Duty crowd, from the Battlefield crowd, to come in and play this, because now it's going to be utilising a weapon setup that they're more familiar with, so the game will feel more familiar to them, if you know what I mean.
I honestly don't think... I mean, you've still got the grenades and the magic powers and stuff flying about, so I don't think it's not aimed at the dude bro that just plays Call of Duty. And,
okay.
What
else you got? What other notes have you got on the subject of the Destiny 2 beta for us?
To be honest, that's pretty much it. The main points were that they've sort of ballsed up that part, the old equipping part, and it's such a big part. The loot is such a big part. You're building your character, you're looking for stuff, and it's like, I know you never played it, but when people say, "Oh, I got an icebreaker drop for me," or "I got a universal remote," or I've had this gun drop for me, and it's like, oh man, wicked, we're going to be able to do this now. Like, I just can't see that sort of thing happening because the pool has sort of diminished by one half.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're using the same guns essentially, but with elements on. And the silly thing is, like, they're not that much powerful, even for the having the elements on them.
Yeah.
Like, the numbers that are coming out that I were pulling up with they were indistinguishable, really, Like, there weren't much difference between them. Aside from the exotic that I had, which, well, the one where, like, you pull the trigger and essentially what it does is, I can't remember, I think it says arc conductor on the left of the screen.
Right.
I'm sure someone will watch it and they'll go, yeah, it's arc conductor. And what it does is, basically, when that happens, if you keep holding the trigger, every time you get a kill, it's just putting bullets back into the magazine. So, Joe, you can just fucking shoot forever.
Yeah.
You can just keep shooting. And it's like, it's arcing electric all over the place, so it's chaining, Joe, between them. It's really, really good for crowd control. If they're going to balance it that way by having these, Joe, like, exotics that really are really, really powerful, then, I mean, maybe they have done right, because they can see the bigger picture, they know what's going on, but the smaller picture that they've put out in the beta is a bit bewildering to many players because of how, like, sort of lackluster it is, almost.
Do you reckon this is stuff that will most likely be rebalanced and be improved as further builds come out? We're probably gonna. Well, when's the game out?
Start September. I think it's 7th of September.
Okay, and they've said that the build that this is a few months old anyway, so chances are, they're going to improve it. And if you're not the only person who's had these complaints, then there could be improvements made by September.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that the supers and the grenades and all that stuff, they'll have managed them. They've sort of changed the ammo drops, because there were barely any ammo dropping.
Right.
It were really, really bad. Like, you get to boss and it'd be like, well, what the fuck am I meant to do now? Because I can't kill out. I'm dry on everything. I think they said they sorted that out. They've upped the ammunition drops.
Yeah. So, did you play the original Destiny when it first came out, or did you wait until DLC?
I wore alpha. I played the alpha.
So comparatively, how did the two, like the alpha, compare to the beta of Destiny 2? Like, can you tell that there's improvements immediately between the two, and give you some kind of idea as to how Destiny 2 is going to improve during its life cycle?
Yeah, I mean, Destiny 1, I played the alpha, and then when it came out, I gave it like a couple of weeks because I thought it was going to be, like, it could be a boom and bust thing.
Yeah.
And then it got rooted, and I'm like, yeah, fine, I'll jump in now. And story mode were a bit lackluster, and what have you, and I think it seemed a bit much ado about nothing. I enjoyed it, like, the core mechanics of, who was it that said it's like the same 30 seconds over and over again? One of the, like, Bungie designers, when they were talking about
I have no idea.
Halo. Yeah, they said the core mechanic is, it's the same 30 seconds over and over again. And that mechanic is fantastic.
Right.
It was good in Halo and it's good in Destiny. But you've also got, like, a mechanic, like, you'll have one where it's, like, the same thing that happens every 24 hours, Joe, like the bounties resetting and stuff like that.
Like, what are your final thoughts on the beta?
I think that if they don't sort parts of this out into the final version, there will be a massive backlash. Like,
right.
It's the people have already got the claws out for it, and if they don't react, they're gonna end up spending months and months fucking putting the pieces together. Because you know what internet's like, they'll throw the fucking toys out at pram, and it'll take a long time to recover. Yeah. And like as we said in the when we did the E3 podcast, when we're talking about Anthem, if Destiny fucks up, there's always going to be something to take its place. So they can't really afford to do that.
Yeah.
So it's either gonna be a fucking buck up or get out of fucking town and move over for the next big thing, because there's not enough room for substandard stuff to get through.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many good games now that are willing to vie for people's time, that Destiny 2 isn't going to have the luxury of having the market to itself, like it did with Destiny 1.
Yeah.
And it's a make or break for this particular game, this series, and it remains to be seen how it's going to play out.
Well, we've only got a few weeks to wait, really, until release. You said it's out early September.
Yeah, it's September.
So yeah, we've only got just over a month, and hopefully, there'll be improvements made between now and then. But anyway,
yeah, fingers crossed.
These were Simon's thoughts. I haven't played it myself. This is all on Simon. But they're his thoughts. We'd love to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
So leave us a comment in the YouTube video. You can reach us on Twitter at StrangePlay UK, and you can talk to us on our Facebook group, facebook.com/StrangePlay UK. If you've played the beta yourself, we'd love to know what you think. If there's any improvements that you think could be made, or even if you are going to jump into fucking Halo, even if you're going to jump into Destiny for the first time with Destiny 2, let us know. We'll maybe get a group together, get some games together.
Yeah, I'd like to know if you agree with me or disagree with me. Like, come and voice your opinion.
Let's get a conversation going.
Open ears here.
And on that, just want to say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and hopefully see you on social media, and we'll definitely see you on the next video.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.